Um, Thank you guys for coming. I am gonna have to go through my spiel because people are watching my YouTube stuff, so I appreciate you sticking with me and coming along. And so this time it's the eighth session. We're gonna decode some data. And you're welcome to ask any questions because we're a small group today. And I think that's it. So, my quick introduction, I started doing ghostwriting in 2019 to figure out how to learn how to write a book. I did that from 2019 to about 2023, the end of 2023. I wanted to start focusing on my novel. I had been in indie publishing for 5 years at that point, or 4.5 or something. I saw like how to do things. I was picking up stuff. It was doing and I saw a lot of the mistakes that people made, and I wanted to help other people not make those mistakes so they don't give up. Starting out, I hadn't been on social media since 2010, and then I took my master class on Instagram. But it wasn't geared towards any one industry, so I had to make it my own for indie publishing, and now I want to share it with everybody. And I think I am. So my goal for you with this series is that I don't want you to do it like me. I want to help give you the tools to find the best way to work for you. Because my brain does not work for your brain, and your brain doesn't work for the next person's brain, even though similar things happen, and everybody's creative. So my suggestion is find what social media platform you like most. Andrea, my PA, does do a lot of my TikTok. Full disclosure, it's still chaos for my brain, so I only go there like once a day to talk to people. But that most of that stuff is Andrea. I really do like Instagram. I don't go to Facebook unless I'm posting for ARC groups, and a couple other types of things. Meta Business Suite is there also, which I'm going to talk about. Goodreads is Goodreads. It's fine. I don't use Threads at all. I just don't. Some people have been having a lot of luck finding ARC members there. So it's an idea. But Threads is like Meta's answer to Twitter. So I don't use Twitter either. For this specific workshop, this is not math. You will not find any math here. I do not math well, and I do love analytics. So I don't know if that's weird or not, but I look at the numbers. The other tools, they do the math for me. So analytics, they don't have to be scary. I've had a lot of people tell me that it stresses them out. And I can understand that, because if you don't see your numbers going up, it's very possible like it adds a lot of stress. But if you look at it in a different way, they can help you discover new ways to engage with your audience, build genuine connections, and build content that entices new readers. So don't focus on why isn't it going up? Focus on how can I do things different. Data analysis involves examining data sets to uncover useful information. That can be used to make informed decisions. I actually looked this up because I wanted to get a format or a formula. Sorry. I wanted to get like the actual definition. I wanted to get it fancy. So I looked this up at Geeks for Geeks. So this is like verbatim. This is what data analysis definition is. So this is the process used across the industries to optimize performance, improve decision making, and gain a competitive edge. All right, one more thing. Analytics. At any given time, you can talk to any fellow author, writer, bookstagrammer, and they will tell you what they've seen with their account. What works for them may not work for you. Adrian, you and I talked about the hashtags. Some people say that hashtags hold them back. I have found that hashtags, not using them, plummets my plummets my engagement, even though I have engagement groups, different things like that. So the best thing that I can advise anyone to do is to sit still. So what I mean by that is I still freak out daily because after a few hours, my numbers are not high enough. And I want to jump and do something different automatically. So sitting still is basically do one thing, do it for like 3 weeks, see if it works. If it doesn't, formulate a plan. And you could be formulating a plan while you're sitting still, but just a lot of this stuff really just takes time to build. A lot of people I see, they do a knee-jerk reaction. If something's not working for them right away, they'll go and they'll switch and they'll pivot something. So they don't sit still long enough to see if the if their format is working for them, if their plan, their strategy is working for them. So, but the thing that I still forget daily, and I have to remind myself is that once the content is out there, like in the world, on your Facebook page or on your Instagram or in your newsletter, the analytics are going to grow. They just will. So unless you delete the post, which again, people do because, it doesn't get an instant automatic, like, good. Oh boy, my brain is so much fun today. Sorry, guys. So I've seen so many people, if they don't get that instant gratification boost, they just delete it. But it's really important to sit still. So that is, I just sort of said that in my 6+ years, people have done this. I have had a client who I worked with for a really long time. And she started publishing in 2021, 2020, like early 2022, late 2021. And she continually compared herself to someone who had been writing since 2017, and that person has a billion years of experience compared to someone, that's like 5 or 6 years experience, and it is a billion years in indie publishing, right? Like, because, and this other woman also had marketing all over the place, so she had that kind of funds. And she constantly changed plans because what this other person was doing, what this other author was doing, wasn't working for us. So I couldn't get her to sit still, and eventually she did unfortunately give up when she didn't need to. But it actually probably takes longer than 3 weeks, but I say go ahead and give it 3 weeks because that's like enough time to see the data. And again, I'm not talking about doing something for the same thing for 6 months and seeing no results. I'm talking about adapting when something doesn't serve you, your brand. But definitely say, I know I put 2 weeks here. I like 3 weeks. I like that number. But you can, play with that number too. Like what works for you, logistically, what looks for you, like realistically, and different things like that. The problem with this is that trends go very fast. So viral stuff, that's another workshop, but things do go viral. People do jump on trends, and eventually that trend goes away pretty quickly. So I'll talk a little bit about that later on in everything, especially on social media. This is not so much like newsletter stuff, but that is that. You're not even seeing my screen. I didn't even share my screen. What the hell? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm like going through these. You're just watching my face. I'm so sorry.
You were reading from something.
I was. Thank
You were
you for
giving
being.
us good information.
I appreciate it. Thank you for sitting here. Yeah, this is on the recording. I'm not editing it out. You couldn't even get to see all my fun gifts. So we'll go back. And this is 1, 2. You guys have all seen this before. My suggestions. This is not math. This was a new one. Here's SpongeBob. He's talking about analytics. I thought that was fun. Um, this is the great big red X that I put there because I was like, yeah, everybody's gonna like that. Here's my sit still. All right, sorry to everybody.
It's okay. I thought you were just like, talking to us. I didn't realize
Oh,
there was
God.
anything.
So glad. I was. It totally did that on purpose. Um,
It worked.
Thank you. So I'm going to talk about social media for a second. So Andrea actually made this post. She made this post this past weekend. This is actually a trend that's been fading, I think, a little bit. I'm always a little bit latent on the fast trends because I plan everything out at least a week in advance, and I have specific things like I have a meet an author Monday where I spotlight an author, and that happens every Monday. So if something comes up, I kind of always don't jump on that because I already have the plan and I'm pretty busy, and it making that post and doing all of that stuff. I haven't seen that it hurts me that I don't jump on that wagon, but it certainly would help if I did it faster. So I do post 5 days a week. I do post on TikTok, but I don't focus on TikTok like I do on Instagram. Like I said, Andrea helps me out there. TikTok still hurts my brain. But this is a post that you probably needs a hug. So that is a post that has been trending. People like usually authors post about themselves, like why they started writing dark stuff. It's very humorous. I posted this today, actually. And after 2 hours, I had 59 follower or 59 likes and 14 comments. Now, in my brain, I looked at that and I was like, there's only 59 comments. What? How do I make it go better? Then I step back and I'm like, okay, it's only been 2 hours. Calm down, brain. Um, Now, the same post right now is going on right here. I have 131 people who have liked this. I'm trying to get out of that. And I have 54 comments. So that went up exponentially. I post every day around 9 o'clock. So that hasn't even been 12 hours. It goes up. For a little bit better of an idea also, because I still don't know. I'm getting a new phone. So my new phone should be able to connect and I should be able to share that on my laptop now, supposedly. So my probably needed a hug has seen 343 people have seen that. So analytically, that is a really, really good turnover for 131 from 343 to 131 and 54. So those are high numbers, but again, I don't do math. Um, so that's where like sitting still is good. Yes, after 2 hours, I only had 59 people, but I have to remember that 59 accounts is way more than zero. So it's something to always, I have to remind myself. You guys might not have to every day. I have to do it. And the data continues to grow. So when I go to view insights, this is sort of more like where you can find these also. And Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everything is all different. So usually it just says it's insights. I haven't found anything that didn't say it's insights. So on Instagram, if you are on a laptop, you just go to the post, you hit view insights, and this is everything that comes up. So these are your likes. This is a share, which mine has been shared. But again, app is different than laptop. So it doesn't show the numbers underneath. So you'll see there's followers. I have 74% of my people are followers. The non-followers are 25%, 26%. I don't know what from home is, that's new, but from my profile, somebody came to my profile and liked it, I'm assuming. This is saying that it's reached 244 accounts. My phone is saying that it reached 343. Numbers get different sometimes. I wouldn't, let me just say, like, a good catch up would probably be about 24 hours to start looking at that stuff. Now, my post interactions, we have the likes, comments, shares. Oops, 7 people saved my stuff. That's exciting. And then the profile activity, I have had 2 people visit my profile and something happened on my profile activity from these people. So that's what it would look like on your laptop. And your laptop may look a little bit different than my laptop because I don't have an Apple. So, you know, that's a whole other ball of nonsense. So something like that, if you want to look at these this way, like my author tips aren't getting a lot of hits this week. But again, I posted it yesterday and that's still 127 people and it's still 42 comments. So it's not bad. It's just not as high as other ones. Like this one got 228, but I paid to get it to reach other people. So that's always going to be something. If you want to give these places money, they will always give you higher analytics. They like money. They want money. This has been going on for 7 days. So after 7 days, I have almost 200 people and, 50 people commenting and liking. So I'm not going to boost this reel, but I can look at these insights and it again will tell me that 61% of the people are followers. I have 265 interactions. I have 690 accounts reached. I don't know what it is on my phone right now. If anybody really wants to know, I can look, but I don't know that that's needed. But 193 accounts actually engaged. So with 690 reached versus accounts engaged, again, that would be division and then you'd get the math. But that's just what that is. I can't do it without a calculator. So, and then I had 22 people share. What's really cool about that is when people share your accounts or your posts, then it hits all of their followers too. So that's why it's important to have shares. And a lot of these people were on my street team or they were permanent ARC. I have relationships with a lot of people on Instagram. So those people also would have shared some of the stuff. Not everybody, but 22 shares is a big number for most of my posts. And then you'll see as I go down, the longer we go down, there's 280, 209, 206. So again, give yourself some time. It does get bigger. Oh, thanks, Melissa. For my God. It did it again. It stopped. It didn't show you the thing. Oh my goodness.
No, that was from before. You're good.
It's like what a mess I am. I'm so sorry. All right. So
It's
here's
fine.
thank you. Thank you for your kindness. I appreciate it. So followers and friends, Instagram. The reason why people say you need followers with Instagram is because Instagram only shows content to your followers unless you
Kara,
give them
your
money.
screen is gone.
I know. Thank you. There we go. There we go. Thank you. I made a really pretty PowerPoint. I want everybody to see. This will be fun. But again, if you pay, that's a different story. And that'll again be a different workshop. TikTok shows your content and pushes your content to non-followers. So that's why people really like TikTok. And again, if you pay, it'll be your numbers will be bigger. I think I paid for one ARC thing and I only paid like $35 over 7 days, and like it hit like 5,000 views. It was crazy. And one of them, the Stuff Your Kindle event, I did this Stuff Your Kindle event on TikTok. It was the very first one. Andrea, you remember it like hit 30,000 people. I did not pay for that. I don't know why it went viral, but it was I think it was like 32,000 views or 32,000 accounts in what, like 5 days or something. I don't even understand it. But I think it's dead now. Like nobody looks at it anymore. Um, in Meta and Business Suite. So can you see my Meta and Business Suite account page? Okay,
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So this is Meta Business Suite. Meta Business Suite actually touches Threads, Instagram, and Facebook all at once. That's why Meta Business Suite is good. That's kind of why I started off using them, figuring that I could figuring I could like hit all of them, because you can comment on everything from this Meta Business Suite. You can answer responses. You can look at different analytics because they have a sixth sense of humor. You can't find the same thing. And you can post from here too. So you can do everything from this little Meta Business Suite. Looks different on your phone, looks different on a laptop, looks different on a tablet, but you can do these things. So basically what I do is I come to Facebook. Yep. Hey, it still looked. And then I go to my little profile circly thing and I hit Meta Business Suite, and it takes me right to this page. So this is like my home page. So there'll be a Facebook and an Instagram followers here. And then there's a weekly plan and there's a couple other things. I don't actually do any of the weekly plan stuff. Because I don't. Like, I don't have a reason why I don't. It just it hasn't like been like, hey, this is something that I should do. So I can't be like, this helps or this doesn't help. But for the Meta Business Suite, you can go to, again, view all insights, and you can look at your activity, your goals, your results, your messaging activity, excuse me, yes, and your messaging activity. Now, you will see in my Facebook stuff, I don't have anything. I have like 14 followers, but I do not focus on my Facebook. So I went and I clicked on Facebook, and I'm going to go to see all insights. So you can see like I have 18 contacts, which is up 800% because I don't do anything with my Facebook. So that's why everything's going to be really low. So on here, you can find for my performance for basically 30 days. You can find views, which is the number of times my content was played or displayed. My reach on Facebook is a metric that is organic, which means you don't pay for it. Oh no, it's organic or paid. But organic does mean that you don't pay. Distribution of my Facebook content, including post, story, and ads. It also includes reach, like tags, check-ins, page profile visits. It's just because you've reached that many accounts doesn't necessarily mean anybody's interacted with that. So that's why I take reach for a very like with a really big grain of salt, because there's not a lot of activity usually with the reach. So then here's the content interactions, like actually 96 people interacted with my Facebook content, and I got 18 followers. 3 people unfollowed me, which means I had 15 net followers. I'll talk about followers in a second. Again, I think I have 15 people who actually follow my stuff. Like I really am not at Facebook to push it. If I wanted to grow my Facebook stuff, I could, but I don't want to. I'm not discouraging anybody from doing it. It's just not where my brain sits really well. So my performance from April 16th to May 13th is very different for my Instagram. I came up here, I can look at Facebook, I can look at Instagram. I did not connect my Threads account to my Meta Business Suite because I do not use it. So it will look even more sad than Threads. So my views in the last 30 days are 37,000. My accounts had 37,000 views. Again, that was the number of times my content was played or displayed. My reach has been 13,500 accounts. So compared to that math, I think because it's 13,000 accounts and I've had 36.9, views, I think that's pretty good math, analytics. So from followers, I'm getting more non-followers seeing my stuff than I'm actually not than actual followers. So that's interesting. And then my 1182 has been from followers, and then 12,000 has been from non-followers. I'm doing that by entering in. I was in a big Stuff Your Kindle event. I was in a huge giveaway where where 60 authors gave books away. I was in a 30 book giveaway, and I'm in a 2 months long like Kindle giveaway stuff too. So I've been doing that, and I've been doing collaborations with other authors. So that's really where that number is coming from, and that's why it's reaching non-followers more than it is my followers. And I also paid for 2 ARC ads. So it's pumping up much more. I've had 6,000 interactions from 13,000 people. So I like to think that that's great. I've had 518 follows in the last few weeks. Also, that happens when you're doing giveaways. People are like, you have to follow me to do that. So that's where all of those follows are coming from. I'm actually not paying for follows. Or if they see my stuff and they like my stuff, that might be a contributor because they only saw it because it's an ad, but that's what that is. Unfollows, I don't care about. I'll talk about that in a second. But that's my Instagram performance, all of this stuff. So I don't have a plan set in here. Again, just because I don't, you can do it. I don't think that it would hurt. These are my results, barcode wise. These are how many link clicks. I love looking at the percentages because if something is low, like right here, I can look at it and I can be like, okay, so this was really low. I only had 8 people click my links. What was I doing there? What can I do different and everything like that? So that's really where I use these numbers to help me pivot or stay where I'm at. So that is Meta and the Meta Business Suite. So I did go through these already, but this is sort of an example, or excuse me, an explanation of views, reach, interactions, and follows. The same with Instagram. So you know that you can see that my reach in Facebook is much lower. I expect it to be, and it's okay because I don't spend a lot of my time there. So follows and unfollows. I did explain that follows are important for Instagram because they usually push your stuff to followers. Now, the content that I showed you right there showed you that that wasn't the case with mine. But, I'm taking into account the fact that I paid for stuff and I'm doing all of these new things where I can do them because I have a book out already. So this is something that I couldn't have done before my book launched. So that's always something to consider also. And because I have a second book coming out already in June, then I get to put that book into these. Like tomorrow, I'm doing a collaboration with 19 other authors, and I'm doing that because we all have second books either coming out or they are already out. So something like that makes it a lot easier to reach more accounts because you can sell your book. Even if, it's not doing that. So unfollows. So many people talk about unfollows and unsubscribers and they worry and they do all of that stuff. And I get it. I totally do, but it's not personal. If they unfollow you or if they unsubscribe from your account or your newsletter, that is more than okay, because as an author and a writer, even a bookstagrammer or, book talker, the goal is to find readers and to find people who like your stuff. And you will always find an audience, always, no matter what, you will find it. If the followers aren't reading what you're writing, it doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. It means that they're not your people. Now, I did have somebody who had 10,000 followers, and she's like, I have 10,000 followers. She didn't have three people. She couldn't figure out why her follower levels weren't engaging with her stuff. Like three people was just an example that I just pulled, but they weren't interacting from her. So my recommendation was to get rid of anybody who wasn't interacting or didn't seem to interact. Now that's a dicey thing, because if you unfollow more than 40 people under an hour, you'll get thrown in jail, and it's a whole thing. So that's a slow process also. But if you're adamantly selling and doing and trying to promote yourself, getting the right kind of people interacting and doing stuff with you is really the most important thing. So I have people like that showed 59 people unfollowed me. That could be any number of reasons. That could be, bots, those can be ghost accounts, it can be anything. So it really, really isn't personal. Some people might not have your political views. I don't really talk politics, but I will show my leaning. I don't, because I do. Some people might see that I used AI for one image. They don't like that. That's okay. I don't always use AI. I pay cover artists and character illustrations. I do think that AI has a place in the world. It's here. We can't stop it. So but I don't, that's okay if they have a different opinion of me. People get very upset and they will unfollow, but if they're upset, they're not going to read your stuff anyway. So that's my point there. Does anybody have any questions right now? I'm going to hop into newsletter time. I'm going to go, and I use Wix. I love Wix. I am not making any money off Wix, but I love Wix. It's super easy. You don't have to pay for a lot of stuff, I think. But here's the thing. So every time I used WordPress, I had to pay for something. So that was my experience. And I don't have to pay for as much. And it is way easier to use Wix than it is for me to use WordPress. I have someone who is a dedicated graphic designer who designs websites all the time. And she said the complete opposite. So her perspective was completely different than mine. She said, well, she didn't say WordPress was easy to use. She knows it's a clusterfuck. But she said that you don't have to pay for as much on WordPress as you do on Wix. I did not have that experience. So it's always, again, sort of like a crapshoot. It's really important, and that's why you need to really focus on what works for you. That's my point. So this is just this is my very, very quick newsletter campaign. I sent this on May 9th, May 7th, May 5th. I had a 60, 72, 55 open rate, 793 open rate 2. Click-through rate. I didn't have anything for people to click on in this newsletter, but that's a whole other thing. All right, so Wix says 10% of emails that were delivered got clicked on is the click-through rate. The average across the industry, according to Wix, is 2 to 5% people click through. Now, that is a lot lower if you don't make every single thing clickable on your newsletter. That's a different workshop, but I always recommend anything you can make clickable, especially images, make it clickable. People love to click on stuff. And if they see a little hand, they'll click on it. So for email marketing, it's just so understanding email recipients, we don't need to know that. I actually had a reason that I clicked this here and now I don't know, so I'm not gonna continue with that conversation. However, according to, so just, obviously since everybody has different perspectives and I use Wix, doesn't mean you have to use Wix, doesn't mean you'll have the same results, but I did a little research and HubSpot is saying that the average open rate across all industries in 2025 is 42%. The Smart Insights in 2024 said that the average open rate is 36. The click-through rate is 1.4. So Wix is pretty close to that. And the bounce rate is 10. I don't have a big bounce rate, but I'll show you that also. So also with HubSpot, it is saying that 30% is a solid open rate. That's what a lot of market research shows is 25 to 30% open rate is good. So it's even saying solid. 40 to 50 is strong. 50 plus is an exceptional thing. So that's why it's important to sort of look and see what your newsletter analytics are when you look at newsletter analytics. This is my homepage when I come on. This is the live homepage. It's saying 5 people are visiting my site, which I am getting more people visiting my site, which is very exciting. And on the days that I don't get people visiting my site, I do panic a little bit. I'm like, why didn't anybody come? But I don't do anything different because again, I'm just sitting still. I never have any new subscribers because I don't work with that. But I have 25% higher post views in the last 30 days. And I don't have anybody submitting forms because I don't have enough people coming and I don't offer things to really sign up for forms on. So there's all kinds of analytics on any type of, if you use MailerLite, if you're not sure what to use yet, you're going to see all of these analytics in very, very different ways in very many places. So this is my traffic overview. So I can go with today, but I'm not really sure where they're set because it's already wherever this like home base is, it's already yesterday there. So if I go to yesterday, it'll show that I had 4 people. It'll show that I had 25% returning and 75% of people are new, which is exciting and sometimes wrong. But I had somebody from Oregon, California, South Carolina, and Connecticut all do that. So it's always exciting to see. And again, it's analytics. Yay. But then you could do 7, 10, 14. So that's there. Usually it's 30. I always change it to daily because I check it every day. Because again, I get a little like excited when people come to my website and open my emails. And I don't understand why, but this is just a hard, like, send out newsletters. Do it. People are there for it. I send it out twice. I send out my book promotional newsletter that people have signed up because they like what I'm writing. I send that out twice a week. I send it out on Mondays and I send it out on Fridays. Every single one has a 60% open rate by the end of the week. Every single one. All of them have an 8% click-through rate or higher. Again, I put clickable things all over the place they love to click. People are there for it. I don't do anything special. I just talk about my book. I talk about some kind of foible I've done, during the week or something like that. And people are opening it. They want to read it. Very few, that's not true. I get about 2 to 5 unsubscribes a week, not even like a lot. So, and it is a lot, but it's not because I have like 1,600 followers, subscribers. Now, I do 3 different kinds of newsletters. I do a newsletter for this. I do a newsletter for my books, and I do a newsletter for like my street and ARC team. So I don't send my street and ARC team things very often, but I do send them, and those are a little bit higher. I ended up accidentally sending my newsletter out on Saturday instead of Monday. And it like so many people opened it. It was crazy. And very, very, very few people like unsubscribed. I think I had one spam complaint, but that's because I posted it. I sent it 2 days in a row, and I don't think that person liked it, which I understand. It was total accident. But my open rate was 68%. 99% were delivered. I have 1,600 plus ish subscribers. I only send to the people that are active. So that comes down to about 900, 852. It's gone up a little bit. And even though my numbers of subscribers are going up, my 60% is still staying really, really solid. So that means that I'm doing something right. And 11% of people clicked on this newsletter, and it was a total accident, and I shouldn't have sent it out. Andrea laughed at me. She's like, "Hey," and I was like, "I know." Surprise. So Monday I ended up sending out sort of another like, "Oopsie, I'm sorry I did that." Didn't hit almost 70%, but almost 60% of my subscribers opened it. Oh, it's 56%. So, but they're still opening up, 57%. So they're still opening this up, and I did it on Monday. So by the end of the week, it should be up to 60%. And if anybody would like me to show them like that in a little bit more detail, I can. But so I am doing Cinder's Burn at Midnight review copy that I'm giving away. So I'm giving review copies, free copies, to people who aren't on my ARC team to hopefully get reviews from there. Now, because they give a review as an incentive, I am doing a giveaway for 3 people. So they will actually leave me a review. I sent this morning at 9 a.m. I already have the 60% open rate, almost 58. And I already succeeded the 2 to 5% click-through rate. So these are really good indicators that while I may not be like, I'm not doing anything groundbreaking. I'm doing things that the people in the industry have said to do. And I just so happen to have come from a newsletter background, and I've been, dabbling in consulting, like business consulting newsletters. I didn't even do like market research newsletters or anything like that. I just picked up very small things from doing it for a while, but I am doing what the other experts in indie authorship has said to do with this newsletter. I cannot talk about not just newsletters are so important. Even if you don't read them, the readers for your novels are going to be there for your newsletters. And the reason why I know is because of the numbers. So that's really my spiel about newsletters. But if you have any questions about the numbers, the analytics, I would gladly answer them. This is sort of my last slide. Yeah, Adrian.
Really good. So your newsletter is, you don't use like MailerLite or
MailChimp, you use it through Wix. Okay, gotcha. Thanks.
I mean, it does cost money. Because I'm doing it twice a week for definitely for my readers, I have the highest tier that I paid for, because there was like 2,000 and 5,000 and then 1 million a month. And I'm like, well, I'll never use 1 million a month, but because I do my newsletter so much, I'm going to send more than 5,000. But it's 1 million is why I can send the decoding stuff to everybody. It's why I can do my ARC and everything from here. And it's still not like mind-blowingly expensive to the point where I'm like, oh my God, it's so much. Yes, it's not a small chunk of money, but it's a yearly, like an annual subscription. So it's not a monthly thing. So yeah, so I've sent 5,000 emails out twice a week to my followers. I've sent 5,000, basically roughly 5,000 in 14 days. That included the oopsie email, here's some giveaways, and that included the newsletter for this specific workshop. There's the word. And also my review copies. And then I sent out something to my permanent ARC people. So that might give you more numbers. But like for this one, this is the giveaway. Like I said, I just sent this one out this morning, 58%. And it really is just proof that you're doing the right thing, and or it's proof that if maybe it's not being as successful as you think, or you can do something a little bit better. So it gives you a really good understanding of why. To look at analytics. I've had too many people say that they don't look at them because it stresses them out. And I totally get it. But you don't have to do that. It doesn't have to be stressful. It can just be a compass onto which way, which way is working and which way isn't. And if people unfollow you, it's better for you. Just get rid of them. That's fine. If they don't like me, I'm all right with that. I am not everybody's flavor of person. So yeah. All right. I will turn it over to you guys if anybody has any other questions, or if we're gonna hop off early. Yes.
So I saw on Wix, because I use Wix too, but I only use it for a website. I didn't know it had all those bells and whistles. Do you use it to track your ads or to create your ads on Facebook and stuff too, or? You can.
I don't. I am just now diving into Facebook, because you all, as indie authors, there is so much to learn, and I don't know everything. And honestly, I wasted hours last week, tears, trying to figure out how to do Meta Business Suite ads. I cried. I was so freaking frustrated. It literally took me 5 days just to get one thing set up so I could actually do it, because I just didn't want to boost a post. So I did that. But I think Wix makes it easier, probably.
Yeah.
So it does all of these really cool things. You can get paid. I don't use those yet. It'll keep track of your sales. It does do a direct sales. It does have a direct sales part of it too. You will have to pay for that shop, but you can do everything in one place. I have a mobile app, but I'm gonna say right now, you can't do much on it, and I have it but I don't like it. There's the contacts. You can create forms and submissions. I did create a form. and it was not successful. I thought it was, and then I got an angry person yelling at me through my email, saying that he shouldn't have been added to my newsletter. And I was like, you're right, you shouldn't. So I haven't played with that anymore. You can build a community like on Kajabi or Discord or something like that. I haven't really played with those either. So for marketing, you can do Facebook and Instagram ads. You can do Google ads here. You can do social media marketing. I don't know what a referral program is, but I think it's like cool. Affiliated. I think it's like an affiliation, like people could become affiliated with you. So yeah. So yeah. You just connect your Facebook account and on its way. I don't know. That's why it's important to like play with stuff too, right? Like if you find something new, play around with it, see if it works for you. If it does, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. At least you know and you figure it out. Eventually I will be doing Google and Facebook ads probably through here. But right now I have someone who's starting to work on my Facebook ads because again, I cried all week last week because Meta is mean. And it's not straightforward.
I have MailerLite, and apparently you can link it up to Wix. So your forms on Wix will send the information to MailerLite.
Yeah.
I'm still figuring out all the bells and whistles of that,
Uh-huh.
but you can connect them up if you have the sites.
Yeah, and what you do is there's something called integrations, and a lot of places have them, and that's really how you can connect them. With Wix, you would go to the apps, and then you would be able to connect them that way. Yeah. I've only used the apps one time because I needed a little bar that said, hey, sign up for my newsletter. And nobody's ever signed up on that little bar, so I refuse to pay for it. If people start sending, I'll do it. But I ended up making just like a blue bar, like right underneath like my header. And I took that off. But it's amazing. I love it. It's drag and drop. It's great. So MailerLite is actually, I love MailerLite when and I don't know if they still do this, but when you go to your newsletter on MailerLite, you can hover over each place and it'll tell you who clicked on it, when they clicked on it, all of those really cool things. So when you start sending out newsletters, it's going to give you a lot of really good numbers and analytics.
Cool.
I have used MailerLite for other people's newsletters for indie authorship. I will say that unless you have like the super premium version, it's very like rudimentary, basically. Except their analytics stuff's really cool because like I could scroll over this and it would tell me how many people clicked all of that. So, and exactly what they clicked. But this is a lot. But like again, in MailerLite, it would tell me exactly who clicked on Alyssa's face and who clicked on the Zoom link. And again, like I make the logo clickable because people will click on it, they will come to my stuff. And it really does improve your rate and it improves the engagement that people have with the newsletter. It is after 8 o'clock. Does anybody have any other questions? Thank you so much for being with me on this crazy roller coaster of a workshop today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.